Welcome to the Apex, everyone. I'm your host, Zell, and this is the absolutely unrehearsed, haven't even read this stuff, hang on, it's gonna be ugly, what are we, number like 53 or 54 of the Apex? So hang on, this ought to be fun. First up, we have colinfurze, and not somebody we normally see, and this is in your highlighted content. This guy made a 10,000 RPM belt of spinning knives. I don't usually condone going and watching idiots, but okay, it was entertaining, and yeah, just go watch it, enjoy it. In fact, if you don't want to have to go to YouTube to watch it, you can go straight over to theapexnews.com, click on show notes at the top, and then you'll have to click on this week's show notes, and you'll see it right there in the highlighted content and all of its awful glory. Anyhow, moving on along from the blog and print, we have from KnifeNews, North Arms Knives is poised to grow. Now, I just got my first chance to mess with a Skaha knife, and okay, this is the perfect article because I think what those two are doing up there in British Columbia is a beautiful thing. It's awesome. However, they've got some work to do. Don't get me wrong, they've got action and all that stuff down really, really good. But as you'll see whenever my review of the Skaha comes out, I have some concerns. And but they're poised to grow with some new models, and I think that's going to be a great thing because these two guys really know how to run their equipment and how to program it up. So should be seeing some great things out of North Arms. And then Uli Hennicke is building up a new branch with an innovative slip joint mechanism. If you go over and read the article at KnifeNews, it'll tell you about a new brand that Uli is bringing out to us and what he's planning on doing. It's interesting. Really don't know if it's going to be successful or not because Uli is really kind of going off the rails a little bit, but sometimes that's exactly what it takes to bring new innovation to knives and other things that are pretty commonly, well, there's just not that much you can do with them without running off the rails a little bit to come back to something that people like. And Uli's got some great ideas. You'll have to go check out the article to find out about it. And then from the cutting edge, we have the top 10 first knives to give a kid. Now, I am not going to say by any means that I agree with everything on this list, but it is a pretty good list to get you started. And that makes me think about kids. And, you know, and I made this mistake too with one of the kids. But a lot of times you look at a kid and you're thinking $40 or less Chinese Kershaw. That's what a kid needs. I have to disagree with that, even though, like I said, I made that mistake. My opinions have changed. I really think that you need to get a kid a quality knife. Now, I'm not talking $200, $300, $400, $500. I'm talking something up there in that, well, the CIVIVI line now from the D2 and G10 knives, although I would skip on the D2. Explain in a minute. Some of the 12C27N from Best Tech, the US line from Kershaw that's got 14C28N, and things of that nature, maybe even a Delica in VG10. And here's why I would skip on the D2s and the other things. And of course, the Swiss Army knife is always a great place to start as well. Although with a kid, I would prefer to have some sort of locking mechanism in place. Anyhow, why not D2? Why not S30V or any of these other steels? Well, the most important thing a young person can learn, not only knife safety, I suppose that should be number one, but the more important thing that they can learn is buy them a sharp maker with the knife. Let them learn how to take care of that knife and keep it sharp. And why do I say this? I said, you know, if you want mirror edges, there are guys out there that you can pay for a mirror edge, but mirror edges are not necessary for a sharp knife. I mean, they look cool and they actually do help with cutting performance, as has been noted on many channels, but knowing how to keep that knife sharp is uber important. I don't know how many people I know that can't sharpen a knife for anything, and my God, is a sharp maker really that hard to use? I really believe that I could take just about anybody, and in less than an hour, I could have them getting most knives sharp with one of those things. So a knife that has a steel in it that's not awful to sharpen. So none of those super hard steels. Let them get some practice and let them get some, what do you call it? Some achievement. Let them feel good about themselves because they took that piece of EG10 or 14C28 in from dull and made it sharp. And it didn't take forever because kids don't have enough patience. No, don't blame this on video games. It's always been this way. Kids don't have enough patience to spend 2 hours sharpening M390. They just don't. Or an hour and a half sharpening D2. So get them something they can sharpen good. And check out the stuff on the list over at the Cutting Edge. Maybe some good stuff over there. They also have a list of the best working folders. I agree with more of them on this list. However, at some point we will look into that because working folders is such a wide thing, because what I take to work, say my SMF, Strider SMF, it might be ridiculous for you to carry that to work, and it might be ridiculous for me to carry whatever you're carrying to work. Little more goes into that. So let's move on to video. And before we get into video, I do want to give you an update. Now listen close, everyone, very closely. We are not ready to start the giveaway the Stazza 23 and I are doing yet. However, we do have a lot of stuff on the way, and it's going to take us a few more days to get it all collected. It's going to take us a few more days to get it all to where it needs to be once it gets to one of us. And I've also got to get some stuff typed up. And whenever all of that comes together, we are going to have the Mega Major Blowout giveaway for you guys, because you guys have brought this channel up over 4,500 subscribers. You have brought Stazza up over 22,000 subscribers, and it's just beautiful. The one thing you need to do as we're getting ready for this giveaway is get subscribed here and get subscribed over at Stazza 23's channel. Click those little bells so you don't miss a thing. Because whenever I say it's going to be a big major blowout giveaway, wow. Like I said, I've got a KME over there in the cabinet. I have some custom Anno knives that I've done that will be in the giveaway. There's going to be some WE knives in the giveaway. There's going to be some Best Tech knives in the giveaway. There's going to be some stuff from people I can't quite talk about yet, but the 400-pound gorilla has thrown in a bunch of hanks, and guys, it's gonna be a big one. So get yourself subscribed everywhere, and as soon as we have a link for that survey, you guys will be the first to know. And so this week in video, I took a little vacation. As Troy pointed out last week, I was burnt, dead. And whenever I got done with the Apex last week, I turned the cameras off, I turned all the lights off, and I turned all the power equipment out in the shop off, and I just didn't do any YouTube or as little knife stuff as I could get away with for the weekend because I was literally burnt out. It's now Wednesday. I'm feeling pretty good. We're having fun, and we're moving on to Stazza 23 because he didn't get burnt out, of course, because that guy's like full of energy forever and ever and ever. And he had the Knife Pivot Lube Initial Impressions are great video. I have a bottle of that. We'll have a video up on it soon. And my initial impressions are, and I have not watched Stazza's video yet. I've talked to him a little bit about the stuff, but I haven't watched the video yet. My impression is go over to knifepivotlube.com and order you a bottle of that stuff. Here's why. It's 10 bucks. I don't know what the shipping is, but it's 10 bucks. It has a needle applicator. It has a little cap on it that goes down, screws on, in a neat way where it won't come off in your pocket or on your desk if it tips over. And that right there is the biggest reason that I use Nano Lube, is the needle applicators. Has very little to do with the actual lube, even though I do like their 85 weight for the little detent ball holes. But give that stuff a shot and give us some feedback, and give Knife Pivot Lube some feedback over on Instagram. So far, it looks like it's gonna be some good stuff. Stazza thinks it's gonna be some good stuff. Like I said, I'll have a video out on it soon, and we can find out a little more. And he also has a Microtech UTX-70, super cool little knife. Now that's that little hellhound we did a video about here. Nick is the one that, Stazza23 is the one that picked that up for me down at Jim's Firearms and sent it up to me. So he did a quick video before he put it in the mail up this way. And yeah, it is a cool little knife, wow. And old Slicey Dicey, he brings us the Byrd Raven 2, the Spyderco I should have bought first. And whenever I read that title, it made a lot of sense. Everyone will tell you, go get a Tenacious. Well, they tell you to go get a Tenacious because so many of us had a Tenacious back in the day, and we moved on. You know, I just talked about an SMF a minute ago, and we've got Hinderers, and we've got Wee knives, and we've got, you know, all these other knives. And whenever somebody says, well, what do I need to get for a starter Spyderco? You know, most of them don't want to spend 70 bucks on a Delica or 100 bucks on a Delica, so you say Tenacious because that's what you remember. But Slicey's right, this Spyderco Byrd Raven 2, and it's not really a Spyderco, technically it's Spyderco, but you know what I mean. It's a sub-brand of Spyderco. That is a way better knife than the Tenacious. So go see what Stazza has to say about it. And then we have the Massdrop Schwarz Perpetua and Three Rivers Manufacturing Atlas unboxings. And I just got that Perpetua in today, and I really haven't got a chance to mess with it yet. I'm interested in the Nitro V steel as the most part, but what I did notice is this is the first time that I've taken a Axis style lock out of the box. And whenever I say that, I mean one that is built just like the Axis lock, and there has been zero side-to-side play. Pretty impressive. Every Benchmade I've ever dealt with, except for 1 or 2 Griptilians, and I've had several, has had a fair more side-to-side play than I liked. Even my 710 has some side-to-side play, and that's a $200 and some knife. So pretty impressive that Millet was able to get those knives that tight. And he also has how to read Spyderco date codes and a Chicago review. We're not talking about the city there, because we'll send that one to Nick. Shabazz needs to do the review on Chicago, because I will definitely watch that more than once. Get on it, Nick. Anyhow, LuvThemKnives brings us the Tashi Bharucha Prism. And that's that one from Massdrop that's, oh, it's cool. It's not for me, but man, is that a cool knife. And old Nick Shabazz, we was just talking about him. He has a Spyderco Native 5 Fluted CF and S90V. It's a quick Shabazz review. BirdShot IV brings us as a CIVIVI Naja, Wee's lowest priced model. There's actually three of Wee's lowest priced models. Praxis, Naja, and Backlash. The Backlash is the cool one. And Cedric and Ada Gear and Outdoors brings us a Rex 121 at 300 grit. Now, why is he doing this? Well, different steels act differently to different levels of sharpening. A mirror edge is not always what they want. Ask S90V. He'll tell you, I don't want no mirror edge. And that may be what happens with the Rex 121. You'll have to go see what Pete had to say about it. And Kevin Cleary, that's him, Kevin Cleary, he brings us a Steel Wheel Intrigue full review. And that is a cool knife, and I don't remember if I did a video on that one or not. If I didn't, you guys need to let me know, because I need to get one done on that. I've got one over here. And JT's Knife Life brings us a Spyderco Calypso Jr. It's in super blue, by the way. Says collectible, but not really a user. You have to go find out why from JT. And Nasty Renegade brings us, Are We There Yet? CIVIVI Praxis and Backlash unboxing and first impressions. And then old Eugene Kwan brings us dashboard review 92 and 93, and it's the Custom Knife Factory Spectra and the Custom Knife Factory Satori. Two knives that, yeah, you should just go look because, yeah, they're pretty cool. And 7 Ready brings us one of those a little late reviews because this knife's been around quite a while, but it's well worth watching if you're interested. It is the Best Tech Sapphire 1705A. That's one of the really small, almost a keychain knife. In fact, it's got a little keychain thing that flips out of it. And he calls it a high-end micro flipper, and he's very right. That is probably one of the, there's a bunch of them now, but it's still one of the really neat ones because it really does look like a full-size knife. It doesn't have any I'm a small knife things to it. It really looks like a full-size knife, but it's dinky, miniature. Pretty cool. It's kind of like a UTX-70. It's just freaking cool. And shortcut reviews round things up with the Spyderco PM2 Crewwear Edition. You know, how many different editions of the Spyderco PM2 are there? Does anybody know? Because, you know, right now we've got like 3 or 4 different versions rolling around, and it seems like there's always something. Maybe there's, no, I know there's 4 or 5 different versions rolling around right now. Huh. That's kind of crazy how many steels Spyderco goes through. If you are a steel snob, Spyderco is your place because just wow. And by the way, just get you one of those S110Vs from Spyderco and a work knife and put it to work. It's well worth your time. Anyhow, that's all we've got this week. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Click the little bell. And yes, we are working on the giveaway. I know some of you are overexcited about it, thinking we were already starting it, but we can't start it till we've got everything in one place, and we will have everything in one place very soon. We're talking 2-3 weeks at the most. It's been kind of a, you know, we started like 2 or 3 months ago trying to get things together, but yeah, things don't move as fast as you'd like them to. And we will have it together for you guys. And you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.